Let's talk other defensive linemen very quickly. The Traps, give us your top 5. It's a non-edge guy, so top 5 defensive linemen.
Yeah, DL is usually just interior defensive linemen that are not going to be standing up on the edge. Tied for first, I have Logan Hall from Houston and Devontae Wyatt from Georgia. I think they're both great pass rushers. Devontae Wyatt's a little bit more of that classic, kind of reminds me of Marcel Darius, to be honest, defensive tackle. Logan Hall is kind of that inside-out type, but really long arms, great pass rusher. At number 3, I have Jordan Davis. I am just lower in general on pure nose tackles. I don't think he quite plays to the explosiveness he showed at the combine. I think he's going to play heavier than that and not be quite as quick as he was in Indianapolis. The pass rushing moves aren't really there. He wins with speed through the line, and he's 6'7", 360 pounds. Number 4, Darien Mathis from Alabama. My only concern with him is that he's a little older. I believe he's 23 or about to turn 24 pretty soon. But the pass rushing moves are there. He's not your classic Alabama defensive lineman in that he can get upfield. He can rush the passer. I like that about his game. And then at number 5, Matthew Butler, another one that's an older prospect, a little bit like Logan Hall in that he's not 320 pounds. He can play end. He can play nose tackle. He can move up and down the line. The pass rushing juice is there. I like his hustle, how much of a high motor he has. Feels like a third or a fourth round pick. So it's not a great interior defensive line class, but that's my top 5.
Josh, if you want, you may now rake Traps over the coals for acting like Jordan Davis is not going to be a superstar at the next level. He's also just buyer beware interior defensive lineman. Like,
yes.
I mean, I would probably take Jordan Davis with the top 10 pick. Like he's 341 pounds and he ran like a 4.79 or something like that. Like that's a literal, it's not, I'm gonna call it a unicorn because, unicorns are usually like smaller and not, like gigantic humans. But I mean, man, give me Jordan Davis on my team. I'll tell you that much.
Will, I'll tell you what, I am exhausted because I've been fighting this battle with Traps and Wilson for so long.
Yes.
I have said that he's got more burst and pass rush potential than he's shown at Georgia. We've talked ad nauseum about that Georgia defensive front and how they use a lot more stunts and loops to create chaos rather than just working up the field vertically. Davis, I will say this. He has been more of a 2-down player to this point in his career.
Sure.
And if he's going to carry that weight, he has lost some weight. So maybe that's part of the emphasis on being more of a 3-down player at the next level. But if he's going to have the same playing weight that he has had in college, then it's reasonable to question if he's going to be a 2-down player. If he's going to be a 2-down player, you would prefer those 2 downs to be in rundown situations. That's just more of what his strength is. You can argue up and down about his pass rush potential, but he's a run stuffer all day long. So you want him to be on the field for those 2 downs. If you are comfortable with where his weight currently is and him sustaining that level and your belief that he could be a 3-down player, top half of the first round all day long. But if you do not believe that, then I can understand Traps' opinion a little bit more, where you're probably looking late day 1, possibly even into early day 2.
I think the Chargers would be a fascinating fit for Jordan Davis because they were so bad against the run last year. Like if you add him, and I don't think they're necessarily going to take him because I don't think he'll fall to them, and 2, I've heard a lot of chatter about them taking a cornerback. I believe you can bet that. Do we have a team? You bet like which team drafts who on Caesar's yet?
What position? I don't know if you can bet what position. I feel like you can bet everything today. So yeah,
there's a 3-1 out there on somewhere at a different site on the Chargers taking a cornerback. I like that a lot, just from what I've heard. But Jordan Davis, man, he's a freak of nature. Credit to Josh Norris, friend of the pod. I heard him talking on Around the NFL podcast recently, and he's like, look, there's literally never been anyone like this guy coming into the NFL. I mean, I want gigantic Godzilla unicorns on my team. Like, give me the Godzilla unicorns all day long when it comes to that. Traps, give me a sleeper at the interior defensive line and then a small school standout.
All right, this is a name that I'm excited to talk about when we're in Fort Lauderdale doing our live show. Ioma Uwazurike from Iowa State. He's an older
I'm not excited to talk about that.
I'm excited to hear Brinson try to say that when he's actually selected.
I just want to see if I can do this. Like,
just read it out.
Ioma Uwazurike.
There you go. So now you got it. Now it's in the back of your mind. You'll be able to spit it out. I love his versatility. 6'6", over 300 pounds. You watch him on film, he's playing edge rusher a lot in a predominantly 3-man front at Iowa State. But they moved him up and down the line. Talked about the lack of pass rushing moves with Jordan Davis. Uwazurike has those pass rushing moves. Now, he's certainly not a Jordan Davis level athlete, but it feels like more defenses want their defensive tackles to be able to move up and down, 2-gap if they need to, make plays against the run. He feels like someone that could go early day 3, or it wouldn't surprise me if he's picked way later. But I thought he was very productive on all 3 downs at Iowa State. Older prospect, maybe not a ton of upside, but with Uwazurike, it's going to take me some time too. I think he's a hit the ground running prospect that as a rookie, you know what you're getting. Very high floor with him.
I dig it.